Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 58, your weekly dose of all things Wardi StarCraft. I'm your host, VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, one and all. Welcome to a replay cast. Usually we would have covered this live, but if you recall, over the past couple of weeks, due to daylight savings happening over in Europe, this event does start very late. Does start very late, so it isn't necessarily as viable for us to cover this event live anymore. So as a result, we are going to be covering this via replays on a weekly basis. On a weekly basis here, we'll be setting aside another time slot, another day in the week to cover the replays of the Monday tournament of the WardiTV Monday. That's the goal. That's the plan. That is the plan. But for the time being, we're jumping into our first series of the broadcast. We're jumping into the quarterfinals, and I was shocked to see this player here make it and actually compete in an online tournament. Elazer, for those who do not know, he has been very inactive in StarCraft, very inactive. He's been streaming and competing and playing a lot of Age of Empires, 4 specifically, to the point where, if you recall, we did a report on this during the podcast, what was it, 2 months ago at this point? But Elazer did leave Team Liquid. He did leave Team Liquid. He is now teamless, and part of that we feel is because he stopped competing in StarCraft, right? And I don't think Team Liquid are necessarily as interested in investing into Age of Empires at the moment, at least. So that is a bit of a shame. Which is why I'm surprised to see Elazer back. Surprised to see him back. The first time in a long time in a WardiTV Open Cup. So happy to see Elazer return, and we'll see how he compares to MaxPax. Oh boy. Oh, I mean, covering any kind of Zerg player early on in a tournament, we do appreciate for sure, 100%. Game 1 is going to be on Persephone. We'll jump on in. Oh. Let's go. Also, bienvenidos to one and all in the chat. Bienvenidos, papi. Zelensbar, Tycons, La Grasta as well. Slowjo, bienvenidos, as we are getting into our first series and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone. We have the Danish Protoss player, we have the blue Protoss, representing Storm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Polish Zerg player, we have the orange Zerg representing himself. As mentioned, is currently teamless, it is Elazer. Here we go. Okay, and again, it's great to see Elazer return to the game. He is back. How in form is he is the big question. We're here to find out. We're here to find out here as Elazer does go for his standard hatch gas pool. Likewise, welcome to Persephone. One of the more quote-unquote middle-of-the-road maps in the map pool currently. Not as large as a map like Tokamak or Maganatha, not as small as a map like Pylon either. So we'll see how we do approach this. What I will say when it comes to Persephone, it is known to very easily cut the map in half and embrace a longer and later game. I don't know if I can speak too much on how Elazer has been approaching StarCraft recently. Obviously, the last time we covered Elazer's matches was back during the, I almost said Esports tournament, during the House of Galactic Battle, during the last big offline event in Poland. And Elazer, he was looking a little bit rough around the edges, if you recall. He, was looking a little bit rough. I believe he did go down to, it was either Geralt or Christiana earlier in the tournament. And Elazer, he was having a bit of a harder time. He was actually being a little bit more assertive and aggressive, even though I feel like historically he's been known for macro games, right? So longer standard macro games was his go-to for quite some time. It feels like that has changed since then, but again, it's been a couple of months since the House of Galactic Battle, so we'll see. We'll see what the plan is going to be. So now do we have Elazer picking in? Getting read what's going on is going to be a standard opener out of MaxPax. We expect Stargate into a third base, Oracle into +1 and Blink. MaxPax, he does mix it up from time to time and does hide a tech and go into Glaive Adepts, for example, or he may even delay his Forge and go for more committed Blinkstalker aggression instead. There are times where he does commit or deviate away from standard play. It's a little bit rarer, but it does happen from time to time. It does happen. From the side of Elazer, if he has been laddering as of late, we'll see if he has been playing standard and meta. We'll see if he goes for an Eva Chamber opener himself, or if he does go for something more committed into a Roach Warren, in towards no upgrades, and in towards, say, like a German Taxi, for example. Again, historically, Elazer, he was known for just a heavy droning, cutting corners. He'd be the kind of player that would lose like 15 drones at the start of the game, but he'd still be ahead in workers. Like, it'd be crazy. He'd often be greedy. But there's a reason why I said earlier that like he's been more aggressive in recent months and in recent years. Like, he's kind of stepped away from that hyper greedy style just because he was being punished so much for it, and players did kind of like quote unquote figure him out. So we'll see what kind of form he's in now and play he goes for. Oh. Attempt to shade away. Behind this, spores are being thrown down, getting ready for said Oracle play. Here we go. That's the Oracle's being chronoed. First one is being sent across the map. Looking at our queens here, we only have 3 queens so far. The Oracle does hit the main. And we're going for a very fast lair. Okay. 345 lair timing. The Oracle does confirm the lair timing though. Ay, ay, ay. Now with a fast lair, with a lair this fast, this quick, we're getting a second gas geyser. This could be for an all-in. This could be for, say, a Nidus-based all-in, like Ling Queen Nidus all-in. But the Queen count is a little bit lower. We're still droning up as well. This could be for a fast Spire into Mutaplay. That would be crazy, but hey, Mutaplay is more viable in the latest patch. We'll see if we get extra gas geysers. Oh, we have the answer. Droplord, all in. It is going to be a German taxi. So a German taxi here out of Elazer, he's going all in. Again, this is something that he's been doing a lot more of as of late, as you mentioned, a lot more all-ins, a lot more aggressive builds. The scary thing though is that MaxPax he saw, right? He saw the lair, and in his mind, he must be crossing up, or he must be thinking about the idea of something like a German taxi. Behind this is going for extra gateways, early blink, later forge here, so he's gonna have warp ins. He can give up on the third base. He can choose to just focus on natural base defense. Let's go. So, break in. Picking up Zerglings. But now Elazer, he is droning. He cancels. Okay. The fake out here. He does finish the lair. He does finish Overlord speed even, but he does cancel the Roach War and he starts up a Hydrogen after MaxPax did pull away. Okay. Okay. So a bit of a fake out here by Elazer. I do like this, considering that he got scouted, of course. Does make sense. Fourth base at scene, that's a big tell. Elazer, he's droning heavily, he's taking more hatcheries back behind this. And MaxPax, he's not overreacting. He didn't throw down like a wall of shield batteries, a wall of cannons. Like, no, remember, he's still getting a forge, still getting +1, but it is late, right? It's delayed forge, delayed +1. He's moving out with the stalkers. Blink is soon to finish. MaxPax applying pressure, and he's aware of the fourth base. He could target the fourth or find damage at the third. Let's go. Let's go. So let's move out. Oh, we have Mass Ling that's being produced. It's going to be Ling Hydra or Ling main Hydra eventually. And so far, that's a lot of Lings. The Oracles are the supports, and we're here to deny the fourth. And MaxPax, he blinks in, gets on the fourth base, and the fourth should go down. Nice cancellation. Elazer expanding on the left hand side, a double expanding. Again, he needs a fourth base. It's behind this, switching to charge, focusing on his gateway army, eventually into splash damage, eventually. There's that storm. There's that Temple Archives. Oh, Stasis goes off. Nice Stasis. Stasis trap does connect. Link's going to be going down. Ooh, the second Stasis a little bit lackluster though. Yeah, the second Stasis doesn't connect here. Stalker's getting caught out. Nice catch here from Elazer. Very nice. MaxPax has to get the hell out of here. Back up fourth base is scouted. And MaxPax from here should back off, should race back home and take a more defensive stance. As Elazer, he's gaining map control. He's cutting workers at a 3-base saturation and 0 drones here at the fourth, so cutting workers at 66. He's building up his main Hydra. We'll see if he ever does decide to drone up, otherwise he's going for a 3-base all-in. Zelsa get eyes on the 5th base. Oracles move in, and the Oracles, they will... Oh, not quite check the mineral line. Sees the army, he doesn't check. And Elazer's all in. So we have confirmation. He's going for a 3-base all in. Elazer's committing back at home. Storm is not yet done. Without Storm, this is going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a very tough hold here. Banelings rolling in. Yes, Storm isn't done. The Banelings are getting to the middle line. Massive connections. And April is going to be going down. This base should fall. Yeah, without Storm, there is no defense. And with that Elazer, he can keep going. Can't keep pushing. Storm is done in 5 seconds. Even then, there's so many Stalkers. And he's rolling in. Nice Storm. And nice Storm with the Banelings. Banelings are shut down. Bit of friendly fire there. Jesus. He does force some friendly fire. Elazer still rallying across the map. 30 more leagues on the way. Oh, the high Templar. Oh my god. Yeah, Templar goes down. And Elazer still not joining. Still not joining up. Has not made a join in quite some time. Nice round with the Lings. Takes down a High Templar. And the Natural's open. Here the Natural's open. Elazer still not droning. Still committing. Still doubling down. And where are the Storms? We mentioned earlier that without Storm, there's no defense. And again, there's no High Templar left. No High Templar, 0 Storms. Elazer, he should have break MaxPax here. Banelings a rush on past. They break through the side defense, catching up most of the high-tech units. 1 Storm lands. Elazer has done it, and again, like a really quirky start to the game here, being very flexible as well, which I do appreciate. Threatening a German taxi and then switching and canceling the Roach Horn, switching the Hydras. GG gets called, and the Elazer, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a very flexible start here out of Elazer. MaxPax having a harder time keeping up. What I will say, the big thing that was missing, of course, from MaxPax 1, he got caught out on the map when it came to his Stalkers. He did bleed out a lot of Stalkers, and that did slow him down. On top of that, late Storm. Storm was late, straight up. Late Temple Archives, late Storm, and the later Storm was, of course, the more vulnerable he was to an all-in. Also, he did not confirm said all-in either. He wasn't quite able to confirm. He saw the army moving out, but again, he did have a bit of a lack of setup at his expansion when it came to static defense. GG. GG well played. MaxPax caught with his pants down. The pants were down, and now we're getting to game number 2, and we'll see if Elazer can keep this up. Now, my concern here is that after the first game, MaxPax will most likely be playing it extra safe, and Elazer's going to have to take a different approach. But we'll see. We shall see. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. For System Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the orange Zerg player. With the orange Zerg player, the Polish Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Elazer. We go. As from here, we're getting into game number 2. Remember, last game, Elazer did begin with a 340 lair timing, a very early lair, which didn't amount to anything. We could see him go back to that. We could see him go for the early lair and actually make use of it this time, especially if it goes unscouted. But once again, it's difficult to really pull that off just because the early Oracle harass and the Oracle vision and scouting that is provided to MaxPax, so we'll see what Elazer goes for. I should also say welcome one and all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. Does have a relatively direct rush distance across the map as well. So exposed third bases, exposed natural bases. I would say the all-ins are more favored on Ruby Rock. So if we were to go for another all-in, it could hit even harder here in game 2 on Ruby Rock. So we'll see. We'll see. For now, Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener out of Elazer, and we'll see how he spends his gas. Go. Yes, that Baba said in the chat. Quite the defense from Max, considering how vulnerable he was at the start. Yeah, like once High Templar were available, once Storm was available, like you saw that MaxPax could somewhat hold his own, at least until he ran out of Storms. But it also shows like how imperative it was to be able to get Storm ready for that defense. As without it, he really only had some gateway units and a gateway army, and was much more vulnerable. But here we go. Getting into that next game. Link speed is on the way, does pull out of gas. We'll see if he does ever pull in a little bit earlier. We'll try to keep up with that. So now we have a standard opener out of MaxPax. Again, when it comes to the rush distance, when we say that it's a little bit more direct, referring here specifically to the main attack path through the center, there are some side blockers that does help when it comes to slowing down a push and slowing down an army and engaging with an all-in. So the side blockers do help, and there's also other areas, other ramps coming up into this area, so you can attempt surrounds somewhat here. Of course, you're still on an elevated position, so you still have the advantage as the defending player on top of said ramp, and again, it leads directly into that third base with a much more open entrance into the third. Very open entrance here towards the left hand side. Likewise, a very open entrance in between the bases as well. So we have seen many an all-in hit and strike either the natural or the third. It can be very, very difficult to defend. We have seen some longer games on this map when players opt to play macro. We'll see. MaxPax is getting his second gateway. The first Oracle does move out across the map. Spores are on the way. And we do have our queens ready. We have 2 queens here at the natural, 1 queen in the main. So far, so good. And once again, yeah, it's going to be this is a little bit later, but still very early. This is around a 3:55 layer timing. I think last game it was around 3:40. But still very early there. Adepts say shade in, they scout. They scout the early there. Oracle from behind. Drone's gonna be falling. Nice damage so far, getting 4. Well, 5? Oh god, 5 drones. 6? 6 drones go down. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened. That is insane damage for only 2 adepts. With that, Elazer's economy is going to be crippled early on. Lings, they go for a counterattack. Oracle does dip back in, and we'll see what is done with this lair. Last game, we went into Overlord speed with a Roach Warren, but then we cancelled, right? We deviated away from the German taxi. Did we commit this time? Lings, they get across the map. There's no Oracle to defend. Roach Warren has been thrown down. There is sun. No wine and gas. Now, the other thing about this style here, I mean, again, Lady Eva Chamber for +1 melee if we did want to go into Ling Hydra into a longer macro game. So, late upgrades here for Elazer. Lair is done. Oracle's being turned away. We're not doing anything with the Lair yet. Is this just mind games? He cancels. It's the same build. Just like last time, he cancels the Roach Warren. He starts up Hydroden. The one difference between this game and the previous game is that this time he does not research Overlord speed. Last game he did, which was indicative of a German taxi, but this time he doesn't even bother. So does not research Overlord speed. More gases are being taken. 5 gases already here. That's a heavy gas count this early on for Mass Hydra. And I feel like this needs to be another 3-base all-in. But we're bleeding out too much. 6 drones going down, 12 in total. Unlike last game, Elazer's economy is crippled. Does lose so much early on. And this is going to slow him down. This is going to give him more time. And do you see what I see? Very fast Storm. This is MaxPax adapting after game 1. What we spoke about it, Storm was late straight up. It was just late last game. Remember, he got Storm after Blink and after Charge, right? He got it after Charge was researched. So really, really late Storm last game. This time insanely early, being safe. And the reason for this, he saw the fast lair, right? He saw the fast lair, he knows that something is wrong, and he's reading this as Hydra Tech, and he saw it. With the Adepts, he did scout, he did confirm the Hydras, he knows. So a much cleaner reaction here from MaxPax. He will lose the Oracle. He, of course, has full confirmation of the Hydras. And Elazer has to make a choice, and he does. He's droning. So we spoke earlier how flexible Elazer is with this build, and I do like this a lot more. So Elazer, he's droning up, he's double expanding, and he's getting in towards Hive Tech. Infestation bits on the way, he drones up to 74. So even though he rushed into early Hydras, because he got scouted and because of the early damage, he believes that the all-in is going to be too weak. He believes it will not work, and he is instead droning up. I think this is a good call here for Elazer. He's getting into a longer macro game, and he's taking up into lurkers. There it is, Lurker Den is on the way. Now, what I will say is that now there's a lot of pressure on MaxPax. So first things first, he has Storm, he has High Templar, he's ready for an all-in that is no longer coming, and because MaxPax was hyper defensive this time, remember what happened last game? He forced a cancel on the 4th base. Here, the 4th base is up and running, right? We have, oh, the Oracle goes down, but the 4th base is up, the 5th base is up, the drone count is healthy here for Elazer as well. So MaxPax, there's pressure on him to do some counter damage and to punish the Zerg before lurkers. Right, lurkers are going to be a big power spike here for Elazer. It's on MaxPax to do something before that. So MaxPax is pushing. That's a lot of Storm, true. And it's mainly a Hydra composition. So this army is very vulnerable to Storm. Like 2 well-placed Storms can shut this down. Speaking of, Storm zoning away. Lings are engaging ahead of time. Oof, Brittle Storm on the Lings as well. And again, there's still plenty of Storms left. So MaxPax, he pokes in, he trades, pulls away, waiting for reinforcements. Charge is finishing up. Oh, and MaxPax, it looks like he just wants to posture. He's going into a fleet beacon into Skytoss. So 2nd Stargate, 3rd Stargate's on the way. This is going to be for that Skytoss army, into Carrier, into Tempest. Focus on morphing in. We're waiting for there we go, lurker upgrades. Lurker upgrades have begun. Now, I'm not too fond of what Elazer's up to. It might be okay. Elazer, he's investing into a Spire. He's throwing down a bunch of Spine Crawlers as well. I would assume that right now his big power spike is Lurker Tech. He wants to get into as many Lurkers as he can and then push as quickly as possible to kill MaxPax before Skytoss. As Tempest are on the way, Elazer is on the timer. Catching out some Overlords. That's going to be 3 Overlords going down. Seems they engaged a little bit too soon. We do have a 2nd Lurker army moving out. Tempest are amassing. As we mentioned, Elazer is on a bit of a timer here. He's rushing past the Storms. Storms reconnect. Elazer is moving in. Gets behind the mineral line. Oof. It's going to be forced back. It's going to be 14 probe kills. Okay, not bad. Decent damage here in the middle line. The hatchery, so the Nexus will go down. Elazer achieving damage. He's getting ready for the Skytoss. Gee, that's a lot of side defense. that's a lot of cannons. A lot of cannons here for MaxPax. But he does lose the mineral line. Get across the map. They didn't quite get a kill. Tempest to deny. And so far, Elazer, I mean, he has momentum. He has momentum. He's doing well for himself. He's not really gaining much ground at the moment. Remember, behind this, he's making as many Corruptors as he can. +1 air attack. And Corruptors are building up as well. Ooh, the hatchery did end up falling. Lurkers are backing off. Lurkers, they pull away. How many corruptors do we have? So far 10, soon to be 15. Now, the problem here is, I mean, he's being a little bit too passive with these lurkers. If he was able to move in a little bit earlier, he could maybe delay this position. But breaking a turtling 4 base, like a turtling 4 base Protoss, is very difficult here. As MaxPax is securing himself, he's fully walling up. And this will allow MaxPax to max out. Oh, I definitely rush in. They do pull away. Nice storm. Corruptors, they rush into the main base, trying to camp the production. Yeah, they shouldn't get much here. Jesus. Hey, get out of here, Pat. Corruptors are getting cornered. And yeah, just a really awkward position here for Elazer. Likewise, forcing himself in between the bases, but this Skytill's here. Lurkers move in, they get a High Templar. Corruptors, they break out. Okay. Do break out? At the same time, Lurkers are getting called out, so MaxPax does counterattack. This base should fall. And then MaxPax, he can recall. So he can take down the base, he can recall back home. This hatchery should go down. Does pull away. MaxPax does make it out. And no recall needed. Once again, Zelramba, they deny the expansion. Laser himself, he is struggling. And the momentum that Elazer once had isn't there anymore, to be honest. He did have some nice momentum, killing a base, killing a mineral line as well. But he was unable to break the third. And on MaxPax, he's perfecting his army. The other scary thing, of course, is that MaxPax, he's staying on a lower probe count. He's on 66 workers, so he's able to build up a larger army as well. Drops is getting caught. Behind this, when it comes to the composition itself, I mean, there are no spellcasters, right? There's no infestors, no broodlords, no vipers. If you want to take it to the late game against Skytill's, you do need to incorporate a greater army here, and Elazer's just not there. He's stuck with a Lair Tech army. Quote-unquote Lair Tech army. There's very little finesse here available to Elazer. Tempest getting free shots up. Corruptors, they just cannot engage. He's no. he cannot push into this baby. And one more. Oh god, one more. So GG gets called. He will lose all the Corruptors, and MaxPax, he will tie the series 1-1. GG. GG will play it again. Elazer, the style that he was playing is very committed and very aggressive and like quote-unquote borderline all in. What I mean by that, him rushing into the lair, rushing into lurker tech. We spoke about it at the time, right? There was going to be a big power spike for Elazer when he hit lurkers, and he had to do damage, and he did. To be fair, he did do damage. He was able to take down the 4th base, able to get a mineral line as well, which was nice, and he even had a faster spire for faster corruptor production. But we did have to emphasize there as well that he had to try to break the main army and trade. Instead, he was passive, right? He built up 15 corruptors, and he didn't do anything with them. He like threatened the main base, didn't get anything in the main, got stuck, pulled away. He didn't engage ahead of time, and we did need to see something more assertive there out of Elazer. He had to be more assertive, more aggressive, because his army had a bit of an expiration date. Like his army did not scale well into the late game, so he had to try to fight early, and he was opposed to it. He wasn't really keen on engaging and pouncing on the army and trying to push in, even if it would be a little bit rough pushing into static defense or committing like that. Like the pressure is on. Like you cannot you can't just be more passive or timid waiting outside, otherwise you just be outscaled. And that happened. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into the ace match. We're getting into game 3. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing System Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Zerg player. We have the orange Zerg. It is Elazer. Here we go. Getting into that third game, getting into the ace match. Welcome on to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a much smaller map, a much more aggressive map in the map pool as well, so aggression is favored here, and we'll see how aggressive our players plan on being. I'm curious if once again Elazer goes for the same build. Like 2 games in a row now, he's going for early lair timings. Game 1 is around 3:45-ish, game 2 was 3:55-ish, so again, just sub 4 minutes. Sub 4 minute lairs we've been seeing time and time again. Into faster Hydras, we saw an all-in in game 1, we saw a bit of a later push in game number 2 with lurkers instead. Oh, are we going gasless? Okay. Late gas here from Elazer. It's going to be a hatch pool gas opener. Interesting. So what does this mean? This means late link speed. Late link speed out of Elazer. This means that MaxPax, he can be greedy. He can go for a faster third base. He can be a little bit more careless or more aggressive with his adepts, as he does not need his adepts to defend his third base either. So he can be more assertive here, recognizing that link speed is going to be later, and that means that map control for Elazer will be later as well. Typically when you go for late gases like this, it's indicative of maybe even just skipping link speed entirely and investing into an earlier lair or earlier roach horn. We'll see. Elazer reading MaxPax first round would be wild. It would be wild. I mean, I'll be honest, like, game 2, he had the opportunity. I feel like game 2, like Elazer, when he broke that base, when he got the mineral line, like that was a very, very powerful moment for Elazer. Again, I'm trying to emphasize that I feel like Elazer, he needs to do more with that moment though. He needed to be in the face of MaxPax. He couldn't back off. He couldn't be passive. I mean, I say he couldn't be. He was passive. He did back off, and that allowed MaxPax to recover, right? Meanwhile, we're staying in gas. Ooh, so link speed is on the way. We're staying in gas. This is indicative here of a faster lair. This could be a Link Queen Nidus all-in. We could be seeing drop lords on the way, but gas should not be mined this quickly. And we have another gas on the way. Oh my god. So heavy gas count here for Elazer. No third base in sight. It's going to be a Void Ray opener out of MaxPax. And there it is. It's going to be a 3:10 lair timing. Insanely fast lair, even faster than the last 2 games. And even then it was faster lair timings as well. So 3:10 lair timing. We're leaning towards... I'm leaning towards the Nidus all-in. Like, we're making links at the moment. Link speed is being researched. It's going to be either Nidus or drop lords, right? It's going to be one or the other. No shot we're rushing to like 2-base muta. No shot. Okay, so it's not Nidus, it's not a drop lords. This does look like 2-base muta. Okay. He's taking all 4 gases, a roach horn's on the way. Show us what you got. What is all this gas going to be spent on here? Oh, that is Overlord speed, but we have seen Overlord speed last game as well, and sorry, in game 1 I should say. So we'll see where all this leads. Oracle pokes in, Void Ray as well. They confirm no third. Something is wrong. Something is horribly wrong here. Mining is being denied. Lair has been scouted. Overlord speed usually means drop lords and an all-in, like a German taxi. I'd say usually just because that didn't happen in game 1. But I mean, there has to be here. Like there's no third. Yeah. So German taxi. Now the problem here is that it's very obvious. Like we've seen everything. The gases, the roach warren, the lair. No third. The lack of third base here is kind of like what sells the story. That it's gonna be a German taxi.
Glory to the Daylon.
And roaches are revealed. Yep, there's revelation. Confirms drop lord. He sees everything. Yeah, MaxPax sees all. Back at him, he's getting ready. Shield batteries are on the way. Forge for cannons. And we'll see if Elazer can pull this off. Roaches are rallying. From here, they're rallying across. MaxPax is getting ready. There's the energy overcharge. Stasis drops are being thrown down. And we're going for a heavy Ravager count with this. Okay. It's going to be a lot of Ravagers. Got 6 Ravagers. Files going to be coming in. From here we go for the Cybercore. Cybercore will fall. Massive hiccup. No more Warpins. No more Stalkers at least. No more Stalkers. Stasis Trap is going to try to bait him in. Up. Ooh, Stasis Trap does connect. Yeah, nice connection. Does run away some of those Ravagers. Elazer does get the gateway. Catching one of the Stalkers, not bad. Blink is not done. Blink is barely not complete. Ooh. Gets another cannon. But Stalkers, they collapse in. Oracles, they dive on the Queens. 1, 2, all the Queens are going down. There's no anti-air, no! Yeah, there's no anti-air. The Oracles and the Void Ray, they will reign supreme. They will clean everything up. And Elazer, he will lose this army. He'll lose this army. Here come the Warpins. GG gets called. And MaxPax, he will take the series 2-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. An interesting build here from Elazer. Again, a 310 layer timing into 4 gases into a 2-base all-in. But again, you could see it coming ahead of time. MaxPax was able to confirm it ahead of time as well, so able to prepare. We also saw, unfortunately, lack of anti-air. He had 3 Queens, but the Queens were focused down. There was no Spore supports or no other anti-air. Once they fell, that was game. Then and there. GG well played. MaxPax, he'll survive Elazer, but once again, it was really cool to see Elazer after a very long hiatus. He's been gone for a long time, so great to see him again. Really quirky builds, especially game 1 and game 2. Like here in game 3, like this is something that's a little bit more obvious, but in game 1 and game 2, I can definitely see a world where he could have toured. He could have killed MaxPax. Like there was definitely a lot of momentum going in his way. Game 1 with the fake outs, going for the later timing of Hydras into a 3-base all-in and catching MaxPax out. Game 2 making it look like the same build and then droning and then taking up into lurkers and also killing a base and a mineral line. Like there was momentum there for Elazer as well. There's definitely a world where he could have toured, but GG. GG well played. Really quirky play out of Elazer, and I hope that we see more of him. I hope that this isn't like this isn't a one-off event. I hope that Elazer is willing to compete more and play more, and we could see the return of Elazer. Could see. Would appreciate it. Would appreciate it, as we are getting ready here for our next matchup. Nice idea. He had a huge army supply, but not enough. Well, like, one of the issues with the build that he went for, winding it back to the last game, is that you can go for these like 2-base all-ins, but there are ways to try to hide it a little bit more, where you can go for a bit of a later layer timing, go for your 3rd base, and try to deny scouting a little bit more. Here, it was very blatant. It was very just in the face of MaxPax, and as a result, he had more time to prepare for it, more time to set up. Having a larger army doesn't really matter as much just because of the defender's advantage and the Protoss army is more efficient, but GG. GG well played. Did appreciate it nonetheless. And we are now getting into game number 2. Sorry, we're getting into the semifinals. Semifinals here of the tournament. Up next.